Hey everyone, this is the Kubeflow Notebooks working group meeting for the 12th of February 2026. We've got lots of topics, so we're going to try and condense down to the things that actually matter for getting the release out ready for 2603, which is the next release of Kubeflow kind of as a project. It's kind of, there's a platform, I don't know what we're calling it. Anyway, that thing. So as always, just want to quickly highlight Notebooks v2 is the thing we're working on primarily, which is described in this issue here, issue number 85. It's a full rewrite of the project. We have three major components: backend, controller, front end. We've been working on it for a long time. It's really cool, and it's going to completely improve almost every aspect of how Notebooks works and make everything a lot easier to maintain going forward. And also use and have features and add crazy things like SSH support and other things like that. The core principle is that we no longer just expose the pod spec to the user. We kind of wrap it in these optional kind of modules, if you will, that you can define as an admin, and then the user picks from them. And other parts of it are that we kind of we provide a lot of interesting things, and we'll come back to that later. But if you want to read more about it, there's an original design doc here, but it has evolved a bit since then. The development guide is something that we're going to show on the screen, so we're not going to talk about it right now, but effectively this is how you run V2 in development mode so that you can help and have it rebuild automatically. Overall topics, this FOSSA issue, so kind of quickly jumping to that, was there something that you wanted to say, Andy, here?
Yeah, are we recording? Yes. Okay. Sorry. I think we need to make this a non-blocking change. The false positives, there's like already three different cases like I've observed that it just like
Oh,
says
I can change that right now. I
yeah.
hope as long as the CNCF lets me do it.
Okay. But yeah,
So let
it's
me just
become
open
more
that
of a
on my
blocker than
screen.
anything. I mean, it's like failing on stuff that would have like is passing for months, and then it just says this open source project is unlicensed when, it's been MIT licensed for 6 years. And so just the unreliability or false positives of it blocking our PRs. I'm okay running it as a PR
Is
check
this
and
on
it failing.
notebooks or on which one?
Yes.
Oh, not that notebook, sorry. What's it called? Because I can literally just change it with one button. I'm just trying to remember how you do it. Uh, like, oh wait, I think it
If
is just
you
called notebooks, right?
Yeah, if you click on the FOSSA link from the PR, I can find it here.
This one here, yeah. Yeah, it's just called notebooks. Okay, so then I can go settings, policies, I think. Oh, I wonder if it's timeouts.
No, I
Interesting.
mean it's like fine. It's flagging false positives.
Okay, so it's one of these buttons.
Fails CI/CD
Oh, there
checks.
we go.
It's
I
probably that
think
one.
it's that one. Yeah, I think it's that one. Or we can also. I wonder if.
But
We could
see,
just make
that's
it.
the problem here is like, well, maybe critical
That's what
licensing
I'm
it
saying.
might.
Maybe because like that one might help us just prevent stupid like
Yeah, because missing
AGPL.
missing license is the big one that was like really causing issues. So yeah, maybe
Is
let's
it
just try
timing?
that.
Oh, but let's just try critical. It's one step
Yes.
towards because it's one step away from like me not having to explain to the CNCF board why we have an AGPL license code in the
Yes.
project.
Yeah, yeah, nope, yeah, that's good. Like the missing license when it just isn't missing has been the real pain point recently. So let's give this a try. Thank
And
you.
if it's timing out, then that's a separate issue. Also, is the dashboard also affected? I guess less so.
It's not nearly as, I have seen it happen on dashboard for what it's worth. Yes. Notebooks has been more prominent, but I
I'll
did
leave
see
it on
this come up
dashboard for
on.
now. Just we're not doing as many pull requests there, so it's not
Yes.
as big of a deal.
Yep. Thank
And
you.
hopefully it means other people will be impacted, so they might help fix it as well.
Yes.
Okay,
Just to quickly, for the sake of recording, then Jenny's other point on Dependabot, we've kind of like put that in the back burner for now because again, like using non-standard branches with some of the way Dependabot does stuff is kind of weird, and we just haven't had time to really figure out how we're going to reconcile that. So nothing immediate on the Dependabot story.
okay, let me just paste this in here just so that I can see it in the future. Okay. Uh, okay, cool. Yeah, we need to figure that later. Okay, so release. So we're coming up pretty damn close to the release of this overall project. For us, what we're going to be releasing is v1.11 for Notebooks v1 and Dashboard v2. These ones are non-negotiable, right? I also think that the alpha is non-negotiable as well, but we just need to have something that actually presents what we're trying to do here as a because it's almost fully working in like a deployment and a usability, not from like a production, of course, but like I think we're almost at the point where we can get the message across as to what we're actually building here. And I think it's really important that it gets in front of lots of people, and it might actually bring contributors as well, especially at KubeCon, because this is going to be we're going to be talking about it at KubeCon and other things like that. So having a thing people can get their hands on and be very clear that they shouldn't use it in production, but will help us. So the dates. So we're going to do one date earlier than. So this aren't the right dates. So let me just get the right dates here. Actually, let me go this community meeting. Okay. So the community meeting, the dates are this. So yeah, we're doing March 2nd, 16th. Okay, actually that is right. Wait, is that which one's the final? Well, okay, feature freeze manifesting. Okay, so it's a bit different to our kind of needs in the naming of the dates, but the final release, well, definitely going to be cut before then, but I think it's this, like 16th. Yeah, it is this. This is the one we actually need. Yeah. We need to be fully ready before this point. Okay, and then, so effectively from our perspective, the dates that we care about for making sure that these things land inside of the release is that we make sure that since we're going to be the source of a lot of changes in the manifest repo, we're going to cut even if the code is not ready, we're going to make sure that the manifests are ready by February 23rd. And that is so that we can restructure the manifests repo a little bit, because now we've got effectively 3 repos, two real repos, 2 branches in the notebooks repo. Notebooks v1, v2, and dashboard. Hey, Andy.
Just a quick note here, Matthew. Based on your availability, I'll be around this weekend. If you want to get like a jam session in on some of this stuff, we can talk about it later. But I feel like we have enough to do that maybe some out of band meeting might
That's
help
fine, yeah.
get us over the edge. But I just wanted to offer now. Thank you.
Yeah. We can talk about that. Yeah. And others are free to join as well if they have time. Okay, so we can talk about that later. But yeah, so the primary, like so effectively, I don't know if it's on this doc here, but the things that we need, like there's kind of the code stuff needs to land by this date to some extent, mostly, not fully. But the manifest stuff and refactor of the deployment process needs to land by this date. So these other ones are don't need to be solved right now. But okay, so any questions about this and concerns? So we've got 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. How long for that first one? So yeah, 1 week for that first one, which we can. I think again, it's mainly just about syncing the manifests in from the 2 new sources, cutting a basic branch, and then for the other one, it's about actually agreeing that we're happy with the various release thing. And then we've got until technically this point to release patches, but we don't want to be pushing patches super close to that so that we don't mess the release up for everyone else. Any comments here? Okay, there's a lot to do. And I'll be doing as much as I can to help, and we have also got Julius can help with the dashboard side a little bit as well, I think. But other than that, notebooks v1. Okay, how are we going on each of them? Okay, dashboard. So I think let me just look at the notes from another meeting about that one before we jump to it. Leads notes. Okay. So the main things blocking the release of the dashboard is that we need to finish.
Oh, yes, I was just going to report like manifest is the primary thing right now, right? We need to get these core manifests refactored. There are the Dex OAuth stuff, yes, but we want to kind of do that initial first pass at refactoring. Alok has been very responsive. I haven't had time to review his stuff. I did an initial review. He quickly pushed changes, and I just haven't had time to get back to it. Like this weekend, I'm, hoping to queue up some stuff, but during the week right now, unfortunately, I'm like really tied up working hours. It's challenging to find time. So he said he was ready to open up PRs for the other components. I told him, whether or not he wants to wait to get this one merged or keep, synchronizing changes across all of them was up to him. But we got to get this
So
merged, and he's
definitely we
ready
need
to
to
open
merge
up
this
the
one
others.
today if we can. Yeah,
Yep.
or someone needs to.
It should
Okay.
be very close, right? I did one deep pass, and so it's just reviewing. Like I think it's very, very close.
Yeah, so effectively what we're talking about here is that to be able to cut a release, since we're making a breaking release change, we might as well fix our lives and make our lives easier long term, which is refactoring these manifests to be the same as how we're doing V2 manifests, which is uh, customized with a base, components, which is a very new feature in customize, and overlays being the target always. Because previously everything was kind of wishy-washy and everywhere, so it wasn't clear to the user it just wasn't clear how you would use it. And from our perspective, it also made maintaining it very hard because it was kind of an arcane art as to how it. If you wanted to make a change, you're like, well, how do I do that? I don't know. Okay, so so blockers here. So effectively, these are actually the blockers here. These ones actually are on the dock, which is so. We also need to do what are the other ones? Which is profile
Yeah,
controller,
the other four, right? Although
kfm.
dashboard Angular's in a weird state if
We're not
push
doing
came
that
to
one. No,
shove.
that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
We don't even.
And
That one's not released.
pod defaults, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh.
So yeah, those should be the main four.
Yeah, I think. On what do you mean for?
Oh, sorry. Profile KFAM is one. Yeah, my bad. So the main three. Yes.
Okay, cool. So, and yeah, the other ones are already kind of in that structure, actually, interestingly, the OAuth 2 proxy and DEX ones. So, yep. And so then we can copy and paste these in here as well. Okay, and the goal of moving this, just for reference, is so that we can cut a standalone release of dashboard. Okay. Other than that, the blockers are all really just stuff like cutting the release and then syncing it in. So we need to update the sync script on the manifest repo. So that one, we can probably get that one done in the next. Well, we need to get it done before the 23rd. So if we can do this stuff over the weekend, that'd be great, I think, probably.
Yep, agreed.
Okay, cool. Let's keep going on this one. So other blockers for V1. Okay, so V1's much easier because we're not planning to refactor anything. Let me just look down the list. Effectively, the only thing that we might want to not block the manifest sync on, but the release part of it on. So actually, I think honestly, looking at it here, I think we're pretty. The only thing I want to check is, are we? So Kimonos and Canonical wanted to add a change. Oh, that one. That's something else. To support what's it called? The gateway API.
Yes.
Yeah. And so so we've got. I don't think that needs to come in this week, but let's try and. So I think while we're doing the dashboard, let's also do the notebooks V1. You know what I mean? Because it's pretty much the same change from a for the manifests. I mean, so effectively, our goal for this weekend or over the next day and tomorrow should be to get meaning me and Andy and anyone else who wants to join us and learn. Our goal should be to get these two targets with their current heads synced in to things. This one might be hard actually, but we can probably do that. Honestly, we can probably do that sync even before. It makes it hard because we're gonna have to.
Yeah.
We do. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, we'll debate that one. But I think we don't have a choice. We have to just try and get it in even before the refactor to some extent. Yeah. Okay. Of the manifest. Okay, and then we've got 1 week to actually finalize it. But now, okay, so for other blockers here, is there anything else that we really want to get in for the V1.11 that isn't
I have two. There's one more I need to verify. We can do that after the call, but there's two of these CVE ones. I think Hen Schwartz had pushed a change I was asking for, and then Yehudit had a PR. Both I think are on TensorBoard controller, maybe, but just two CVEs ones I wanted to get in because I think they're ready. The rest of these ones opened by Uyen. I haven't heard back from her, so we're not going to include those. And that's just kind of where we're at.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so, and other than that, there's a PR that I have to make, but that one can come a bit later anyway, which is the example notebook server updates for PyTorch and everything. That's fine. Okay, so now,
just one question I
yes,
didn't get. Is the gateway API getting into the 1.11?
it will. But there's two kind of dates here that we're talking. Well, I mean, it probably will, but there's two dates that we're talking about here. First is that because the manifest repo currently doesn't actually even connect to this repo, we need to connect them together. So like right now, the notebooks and dashboard manifests are being pulled from a repo that no longer contains that code. So we need to connect them to the V1 branch and the dashboard repo for the dashboard one. And the reason why that's a little bit more painful than normal is because now that they're in separate repos, the structure just has to change in the manifests. So I'm trying to get everything ready so that we can get that in, because we can't release without that. So that literally, and no one else can even test the project to some extent without that, because the dashboard is,
in terms of the reviewing aspect of that, again, it won't be until this weekend. I apologize, but I will get through the remaining. I think we've been reviewing the Gateway API stuff on dashboard. That will go a long way to basically validating how we like the process of reviewing that on notebooks will go much quicker then, because we'll have kind of, been on the same page. I'm not sure Kimonos's availability and timing. I can realize that if he doesn't get more feedback until this weekend, that might be imposing on him. But that's the best that we can do. I can make sure that's like kind of fully vetted and all of that initial output is reviewed and tested by Sunday. And then, like I said, if we get dashboard in a good state, we just use those principles to apply to notebooks. I think that can go much quicker. So to Matthew's point on that second date, I don't think that will get in the pre-RC, but it does not need to. We'll do our best then to make sure that following week we get this stuff included in there, or at least be transparent with you if we're running into issues. Matthew,
so
hopefully.
you have time to work on it, Enrico, or is someone else?
Well, we have to figure out because that's Kimonos that the guy that has the most context on this. But as you might know, is
Yeah.
currently leaving Canonical, so that's the issue that we have. So
Yeah. Do you have Go coding experience?
yeah, not too many, not too many to
Okay,
be
yeah.
honest.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
the main
Kimonos will
thing.
probably help finish this anyway, but yeah, I mean, it's so the only real debate I think is what is whether we have an experimental prefix for it. But anyway, let's move on. So
Yep.
the goal
I
is
mean,
that
we do have good developers. The problem is that like it also requires a little bit of
yes,
understanding of the code base, the changes, and everything. So I mean, it's um,
yeah.
the sooner I understand like the tricky part also with the release and everything, but the sooner it would help us out. The sooner the better would help us out.
Yeah. Kimonos is probably going to be pretty likely to make a PR that works anyway. So I think, you know, so, um,
I mean, like I think we have tested these changes, right? Like, it's not like it did some testing internally, like with the various components. So I'm sure it works. It's more like the various bits about the code, right? Like,
yeah, there is this config map stuff as well, though, that since we're refactoring the manifests, you will need to rebase on the refactored manifests. That's the only, or someone will need to rebase.
Yeah. Well, we need to get that squared away first. Like and those just because it's a dead like we have to get those in first, rebase that PR on top of this. Yeah, we'll cross that bridge. Yes.
Because yeah, some of these aren't going to work anymore. Okay, cool. Let's keep going. Okay, so now in terms of blockers for this, for V1, the only remaining thing there is again getting the manifest in there, which means we need to cut a new release branch, which will be the first release branch we've ever actually cut from the notebooks repo. So there'll be a new branch called release-1.11, and then obviously every subsequent 2.0 release will be 2 dot something release dash, which will be fun. Okay, any other comments about notebooks 1.0 so we can jump into V2, which is this V2 is more about getting what we want to present about V2 to the community as an alpha, non-ready for production in the next release of Kubeflow. Anyone more about 1.0? Anyone? Okay, so again, coming back to this, what the goal is. The goal is to get an alpha release of 2.0. What does that mean? That means that it doesn't have to work. It literally is a demo. So the goal is that the critical path that demos. So I want to highlight one thing, which is that Notebooks V1 is much simpler than V2, not as a user, but as a feature set. So to exceed the capabilities of V1 is very easy. We're pretty much already there, with the exception of some UI stuff. So I wanted to so coming back to one comment about the manifest, similar things have to happen here, except there's no real work on the manifest side. We've already done it all. The only change is that we need to sync the manifest in. So we can I guess Andy and others, this is a debate for you guys as well, whether we want to, if we're going to do all three of those manifests, just spam them into the manifest repo all at once, or whether I guess V2 can be separate because it's new stuff, net new. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but it means we still need to, I still want to try and get it done before, we can't really do it until it's actually, until we think getting something in there is a bit dangerous. That's my only concern, you know what I mean? Like, until we've got maybe 1 week from now. We need to do it next week, obviously, but okay. I don't want bad code in there, is what I'm saying, that we aren't confident in presenting. Okay, so let's do that now. So who was the first person? So I want to do a thing that we're going to do every time now, which is that we're going to show what the current state is. And this is even going to extend beyond the 2603 release, just because I think it's a good thing to show. We don't need to be as in-depth as we're going to be this few weeks. But Christian, did you have the tilt version up that you can show?
I mean, it's always dangerous to do any demos, but I can try.
No, it's not a demo so much as it's like, just let's look at, so the goal here is it's to look at the current state. It's like, okay, we're assuming that the tilt version of the app is reflective of the current state of the app. There's one qualifier there, which is it doesn't use dashboard, and it also doesn't use auth. But
Andy and I also identified quite another big gap, but we can maybe talk about that in a second. The issue is that with the default tilt version, there are no workspace kinds, and that would be maybe good to.
So that's part of the demo. So we're gonna upload that as part of the demo. So okay. So
I can't share. You have. To,
do I have to stop sharing? Is that what's happening?
Maybe I think it's something like.
Can you share now?
Oh yeah, while somebody else is sharing now, I think I manage.
Yeah, so the flow we're trying to do is creating a workspace, running the app, creating a workspace.
Is that working?
Yep.
Okay.
It looks like, yep, it is. So, so this is running based on a kind cluster locally with tilt up based on the head. So look at the developer guide for everyone who hasn't seen it, if you want to learn how to do that. So if you, so is this an empty kind cluster? You were on K9S before. Do you want to just like quickly show all the pods in the cluster?
Yes.
If you know how to do that. And then hit 0, I guess. Oh, you got it, yeah. So this is all of the pods right now. So this is just for people's context. So when you run tilt up, this is what you end up with. There's one qualifier here, which is that tilt does do one non-production thing regarding, I think, the front end only. So the back end and controller run the actual production Docker images, but the front end runs a special hot swappable version that kind of replaces the npm. It runs, sorry, because to do developer tools, you need to run npm, whereas the production Docker image obviously doesn't include npm because it's not necessary. It just uses Nginx. This is HTML. So, okay, so if you go, so I want to highlight to everyone here that this UI here and everyone, so the goal is let's try and do some of the things. So if you click cancel, I think we're not on the main page right now. So this is not the dashboard. This is our our built-in kind of dashboard pseudo thing that happens when you're not actually in a production cluster. We can obviously improve this, but that's not what we're reviewing. We're going to be reviewing the flow of actually, because this is not what it's going to look like in the manifest example, because they'll be using it in the dashboard. The sidebar here will be the dashboard piece, and it'll be an iframe. So the first step that we would need to do, I'll probably copy it above actually, is create a kind, right? Create workspace kind. So do you have the link to the sample one? Let me just grab that view, or, oh no, you actually already have it there.
Yeah, I already set it up because I thought that would be part of the meaningful demo, and we wanted to set that up in Tilt anyways.
Yeah, did you want to, I don't know if you're able to delete it from here though, I don't think, right? Is that let's check the 3 dots. On the right, I assume. Yeah, so we don't let you delete. What happens if you click edit? No, I don't think this works right now. What happens actually? You click these. Interesting. I think this is just a view. Yeah.
Something happens. Not sure.
I think it can someone from the back end, sorry, front end team confirm. Don't go back to that page. Whether that
the save The save button is disabled, so you can't really edit it.
But this actually does reflect the current state of the thing?
Yes,
No.
it does. Yeah.
Well,
does?
I mean, we don't have an edit workspace
No,
kind.
you're misunderstanding. This information, if you go to pod configurations, for example. Like
Yeah, it
this,
reflects
if
the
I,
YAML that was uploaded.
Yeah, this is at least what the default has. Yes.
but just this happens to also be the sample. So what I'm saying is, if I deleted one in the YAML, would this be correct? Is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
That's weird. No, the remove there is just for when it supports updates, I assume. Also, we will be, for context, improving the way that this works in the production one, because this is not going to scale when you have thousands of them, obviously, which is a pretty common option situation. Okay, so that's great. So we've created one. Do you want to delete it in workspace kind? Sorry, in K9S, and then just recreate it using the UI, just to confirm. So if you go workspace kind here, it should just work. Yep, and just do Control D. Yep, so it should work. Great. Okay, so that means it wasn't being used, which is good. Now let's refresh and just see what happens. Great. Okay, that's a good sign. Okay, so if do you have the sample? So I'll link you the sample. I'll link it here actually as well. Because as we do the update, we'll probably get I'll link it to you in the doc as well. As we do the new V1 images, we'll probably make new V2 samples as well for the demo. Not for this demo, obviously, but workspace. Because currently, for reference, the place that you find it is under manifest. Yeah, that one. And it's under samples, which is obviously we're going to keep samples existing, but well, actually, this is an interesting question. Okay, this actually raises one question for everyone to quickly have a question about. So right now, let's say we just took the manifest and threw them into the manifest repo as an alpha. Right now, there isn't an obvious way for users to find the samples. This is a very convoluted way for them to find the samples. Are we going to include a folder of samples somewhere?
So my opinion is that if you want to demo this actually, then the sample should kind of like there should be something set up as a sample, and then people should know how to create their own customized one. Because if it's just an empty thing and people have to think about, oh, how do I go about this, they might already.
So this is actually, so this coming back to an idea I had for the production version a long time ago, which is that under the create workspace kind, so click that, there should be a button which says, like, click here to find samples, and takes you to a repo folder. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of
the problem also is
solution in the short term.
This also looks like a editor, but it's actually not. So
is it not?
Yeah, that would be very good. Actually, I had to myself. Yeah, sorry. You can continue.
Go.
Yeah, I actually myself had to contact Andy for the samples. Even I was not able to find those.
So yeah, I think so. Front end people. Okay, so if we can write down a task, this is just critical for this, which is that even while we do need to have a document which says you need to start with workspace kind, because people won't realize that. But the reason why we can't include, coming back to the reason, Christian, why we can't include a sample actually in the manifests is because a long time ago, we realized that it was never going to make sense to use GitOps for workspace kind. And so what that means is that you can't, you have to apply it once and then treat updates as a thing you're doing manually. Andy?
I think for Christian's immediate point, though, we can do whatever we want in Tilt, and let's get like,
No, but they're not going to be using Tilt. This is, again, we're preparing for end users who are installing from the manifest repo.
Totally understand, but I'm just saying, like, that is true. But what is also true is we should just have data preloaded in Tilt. Like, I just want to make sure we're still kind of calling out for like these kinds of demos on
samples. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I mean we could do that. That's not bad.
Yeah, and I think for a demo, it would also kind of make sense. So like, yes, for a production version, maybe like a GitOps-based workflow isn't that sensible, but for just having a demo, being already able to spawn a simple notebook would be good, I think, by default.
I think we should create in the tilt up demo, we should probably just effectively copy and paste the Jupyter one a couple of times. Probably, you know what I mean? That's probably like, test 1, test 2, test 3 kind of thing. That's easy to do, but that's not a blocker for this. But what is a blocker is that the create workspace kind page needs to have a link to the samples folder at least for now. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
So can someone on the front end write that down, or as a task, or I can write it down somewhere, but
Yeah, I can do it.
so effectively go workspace kinds again for me, Christian, then go create. And so effectively all I'm saying is that the copy above this section here, and maybe also just a quick question, let's do that right now. So if you upload a file or something, what happens if you try and type text in that box? That is not
Yeah,
typed.
that doesn't work. That's what I meant.
You can't type at all.
Yeah,
It's just
currently,
Yes.
that's disabled, but would be a matter of us choosing what would be the appropriate behavior to allow editing or not here on
Can
the
we make
screen.
it so that there doesn't have a blinking cursor then on it?
But you want to keep it disabled.
Yeah, isn't it like just a disabled flag for an input field? Can we just do that?
Sorry?
There's like a disabled flag on HTML for input fields, right? So like I presume that you can just gray it out to something.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a component. I can check that. But
it must
I
be
mean,
disabled.
as a concept question, should it be disabled or not?
Well, but it's not editable. Is that so? If you upload that file there, Christian, are you actually able to edit the?
You can see the content. Currently, you cannot edit, but we
If you
could
type something there, you
let the
can't.
user edit if we wanted to.
I think the issue here is just a matter of UI then. So the two tasks here are add a link to here are some examples up under the create workspace kind, and separately make it more clear that this is not an editable thing right now. Even if it is going to be in the future, just make it grayed out right now. You know what I mean? Like that, just like, like make it clear that this text field does not interact, is not interactable is kind of what I'm saying.
Okay.
From like at very least the cursor. Anyway, so one more thing here. Workspace kind. It's kind of interesting that we're not using it with capitalized not camel case. Yeah, camel case here. Like we're saying workspace space kind. A little bit weird. At the top. Yeah.
No.
I think probably should just use the workspace kind with that. Yeah.
Okay, I'm taking notes of that here.
Okay, cool. So now I create. Yep. Okay, so now click just while we're just here, because wave over that icon. Yeah, what does that mean? Cannot load image. Sure. Okay. And then so that's something we do need to finish. Yep, but that's gonna be done soon, I think. Then workspaces on the right. No. Go back to workspace kinds. There's a button on the right that I don't know what that does.
Oh, which one?
The 0, that one. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, well, we'll
Yeah,
come back to this once we've made it
This is
work.
a list for all the workspaces that use this workspace kind.
Does it actually work? I guess let's make a workspace.
Yeah, the list works. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's make a workspace. Okay, so now this part won't work properly, I think, but maybe it will. So let's see what happens. Okay, so in this first page, we're expecting people to see. So let's go down the list of demo tasks. So, yep. So you have to. I guess obviously you're selecting a workspace kind, and then you have to click next. Interesting. Okay, so no, I think we already talked about it. This is weird because the description should be here, right? The display name and description should be here, and I think we talked about this in another meeting. Paulo?
Yeah, I checked what field is there. So we are using the display name on the header of the card and the ID on the body. Currently.
Yeah, which is obviously wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, we can
should be
use the description field, right?
Yep. And then the actual image, I think, should probably be visible here as well when you click it, maybe. So what happens when you click it? Yeah, we need to. Okay, so somewhere on this page, the actual image URL full, even if it's 1,000 characters long, needs to be visible, which is not that, to be clear. The one on the right is a display name added by the admin, So that there,
okay.
that Jupyter colon.
Yeah, and also it depends. So, for example, in our use case, we have the same images in different registries, and they might be different. So.
Yeah. So the name, though, the user admin defines anyway. So it's kind of, you can put whatever you like.
Yeah.
But so the other thing is, I think the labels probably should be in their own section, just so that it's clear that they're labels.
Yeah, the Python version is a label, so we list all labels there on the right. It was another question that we had on the past meeting.
So where do we want to put the image? So like the actual full Docker URL for the image.
I
or
mean,
whatever
we
the
have
image.
an image section here, so maybe
Well, it's
somewhere
there
here.
somewhere, but like I feel like there should be sections there, presumably, right? There should be one that says labels, and then then have the labels under it, and then there should be a section called like details or something, or maybe what do we call it? Value? Value. I think we call it value, right? In the actual YAML. But anyway, so that's fine. Okay, let's pretend we're picking that one then. So we actually should, okay, there's one thing we're missing. Go back. Is that we haven't got multiple options here. Why are we only seeing one option here?
Is that just the default, or is something in the UI not working?
The other, I mean, that's the only one available in the workspace kind. We have another one listed, but in the sample data, it is listed as a hidden one. So it is there in the YAML, but because it's marked as hidden, it doesn't show up in the UI.
So I thought that one thing we agreed about hidden was that hidden was not forced. You know what I mean? Like that. So it does have a redirect, that one, interestingly. But I wonder if we should have a show hidden button as well. That's all I'm saying.
That's a very good call out, Matthew. I feel like kind of semantically, we have a much stronger opinion on what hidden means than at the time when this wizard was originally built. So that's a valid.
Yeah, we kind of agreed that anything that looks like ACL is not ACL unless we're going to actively make attempts to sabotage its use as ACL. It's kind of what I'm trying to say, right? Anything where you could make an API call directly to the backend and do it should be doable through the UI with an extra button click. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of the rule. So that's good that that fixed it. Okay. So what happens if you click between the two? Just like click spam between the two a couple times? No, click one and then click the other. What's happening here? I like that. There you go. Cool. Okay, so it does.
Sorry, misunderstood.
Yeah. Okay.
Just to clarify, should we have a show hidden option there on the filter or not?
I don't know where it would be, but yes, probably, yeah.
Okay, and by default, we don't show, right?
Yeah, and because strictly speaking, you are allowed to select a hidden one in the API. There's nothing in the API preventing you. So go back to that YAML for 2 seconds. We don't want to spend too much time on this, but okay, yeah, that one. So the one that we were just looking at. So this is image config. So this one does have a redirect again, and with the way redirects mean something slightly different now, which obviously is a UI concept. It's interesting that that warning is not there in the UI. So that is missing. Like that, and having that there and not hidden by default is a great part of the demo, I think. Honestly, no, well, it's going to be okay. Actually, that's important. That's something we haven't put in the demo list that we expect people to see. Redirects. They probably don't need to see it here because normally they wouldn't see it here. But we should definitely have a warning.
But I think there should be some visual indicator. If you're choosing an image that has been already specified by your admin to be redirected to a newer image, you should probably be given a heads up somehow, right? Like you're choosing an outdated image that they're going to want you to upgrade. I feel like that should...
That's, yeah, a warning icon, definitely. But on the sidebar, I think we can, again, keep adding more sections to that sidebar, which is like... So I think we've agreed that there's at least 2 sections that need to be there right now. Labels, which is there, but just without a heading. And value, or whatever we're calling it. Value, which just includes the actual port information and image information, maybe. Like advanced, maybe advanced. I don't know. Maybe advanced is probably the right word for that, actually. Then the last one is go back to the spec that you were looking at on workspace kind. So this one here, the redirect should be visible there, I think. But the question is, should it be on the sidebar or should it just be a warning? Or should it say or should it have an indication of which target actually is the target, you know?
Personally, thinking now, I would put like a label by the title of the card saying outdated in small letters, and I would order the list to show the not outdated ones first and the outdated ones last.
It's probably a filter field, right? So I think hidden should probably be a filter field on the side. Go back to the UI. So we've already got this concept of a filter on the sidebar there. Why don't we just add hidden here as a filter?
Yeah, we can do that for the hidden.
Yeah. And then for redirect, though, I think the question becomes for users.
Actually, for the hidden, I would put besides the filter by name, because on the left, we do the filtering dynamically by the labels available on all images in that workspace kind. But the filter with the name is the one related to the fields that we get from the API return.
Also, why is the filter by name section so short? It's like quite a short input field. Oh, interesting that it.
Oh well. I mean, usually you don't type that much on the filter, so. But it allows you to type more.
So what happens if you?
It wraps if I close. No, okay.
I feel like the filter by name could be a bit of a bigger field horizontally, but that's again, that's not a blocker. Okay, so type 0.8 and just see what happens. Sorry, 1.8. Sorry. Okay, it does do stuff. Okay, cool. And then so okay, the one thing we do need to deal with the redirects because I want to put in the sample, and so I'm just going to put that here, which is sees a hidden redirected image. Okay, so how are we gonna? So I think we just need to show it somehow. So I think we need to show what it's redirecting to somehow as well. So, like, if that first one is redirecting, which it is right now, what should it show? It's actually redirecting to the one beside it right now, technically.
Yeah, so I think either there should be some node in this section that we already talked about now a bit, or when you click next, then there should be a pop-up like, hey, this image is deprecated.
That should probably also happen, but that's a good idea for future, I think. But the very short term is.
I think we show in the list table, I think we show an icon indicating this state, right? So I think we should just like consistently use that icon on this card here as well, just for visual consistency.
So if you put it here right now, what would we? So where would we put it? Like. Also, part of me wonders if the card should be more styled as having a heading and having a subhead section. You know, like that it's kind of like the top part right now is just it's more like a piece of paper right now, but you could make the heading an actual heading to some extent, like give it its own background almost. I'm just wondering, because then we could put an icon at the right-hand side of the card. That's like a warning, you know. Or maybe not. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Okay. So, but how are we going to display this? And back to this. Does the backend currently send you redirect information? It must, right?
Is this a question for me?
Oh, no. Anyone who can answer the question.
Oh,
okay. Excuse me. It does. Whether that's the right, you kind of need to spike into that to make sure it's doing the right stuff, right? So, but yes, that information is returned right now.
In the list workspace. No,
I think it's the workspace. This gets returned in the workspace status. You get like a status.desired.
Oh, no, sorry, workspace kind, sorry. No, other way around. No. What I mean is like right now, the front end is using the get workspace information. See what I'm saying? Get workspace kind, sorry, information. The options. Sorry, no, options.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, this is driven.
So where is that? That is.
And this is the key piece, right? Div. Do you go by Div or Divi? Sorry, I just go off your Slack name.
It's Divya.
Okay. He has a PR open here to actually. We want this to use those list values endpoints, right, Matthew? So this is.
Oh, that's not using this right now?
No. PR is open. I haven't had time to review it, and he's been very patient. But yeah, we need to get that in.
Has the backend been?
He had been like, given me reviews. I'm still working on it. Or is it? Are you talking about someone else?
Oh no. We are slowed down by my availability to review. So he is getting some feedback on, but I've been slowing him down.
So right now, what this is using the current get workspace API.
It's just like you call get workspace kind, and because that information is all included in the kind, it's just keeping it from there. Whereas once we have this merged in the API with this list values stuff, then the UI will switch over. It's just not there yet.
So what we need to figure out, are we going to be able to get that in before the alpha? That's what I'm saying.
I do not think we should push ourselves to. It will like organically happen or it won't. But in terms of like if we're gonna like spike into stuff on the weekend, that should not be critical path.
Yeah. So, interesting. Okay. So because that is going to change the front end a little bit too, honestly, like how the front end actually does the API. Okay, fine. Anyway, only requirement here is that somehow someone needs to put a redirect information on it, and initially probably the sidebar should have both the current. Oh, it also could have a chain of redirects. So that's another thing. So, yeah, I think I'm just checking that the chain. No, okay, it actually doesn't reflect the chain right now. So you only see the current next step in the chain. Yes, Andy.
Sorry, well, since we brought this up, I had one behavioral question I wanted to raise before we can be brief here. When there is a chain, right? Typically, it'll be an A to B, but you could have A to B to C to D, right? I mean, it can be chained however they want, depending on how the admin forces upgrades. Should you be able to, Matthew, from a data scientist view, jump to intermediate chains? If the ultimate redirect goes from A to E, should we show them at the like one click, like intermediate levels, say, I just want to jump to C right now in terms of thinking how the UI
That's
will
only for the front end during an update process, though. So like
Yes.
this is during spawning. So the unfortunate fact is that the chain is only well, we can update it in that API, but right now the get workspace does not show the chain, right? You know what I mean? It only shows the next step. Workspace kind. So get workspace kind only shows the next step in the redirect.
But I thought the workspace status, sorry, I'm talking about something different. I'm talking about the table. Workspace status, then I thought shows.
It does show the full chain. Yeah, that one shows the full
So
chain.
yeah,
And
from there, would we, is that a supported feature to jump to intermediate level? Like you don't have to jump to the end of the chain. You can jump to an intermediate one. I wanted to clarify that as we look to get that story.
Interesting question. I don't know. It seems like a question we should debate when we're actually.
Okay, never mind. Move on then.
Yeah. So back to this. So I just want to. So the front end does need to do this though, which is so that it can be part of the demo of seeing a redirect. Go back. There is a redirect message in redirect. So you also need to include that, and the redirect message is a text and level. So the level, we've got info warning danger, right? And so the text is like markdown, right? So I just wanted to highlight that. So anyway, Paulo, what's your intuition of where we should put that in just like a very basic PR? Is it just on the sidebar with a warning icon?
Yeah, I would put on the sidebar and work on an icon or a label in the card just as a visual warning. But I'll talk to Jenny.
Okay, another thing then is, I think you should have, you know how we've got hidden already being proposed as another filter? We should probably also have has redirect. And
Yes.
that should be off by default. You know, you shouldn't be able to see that one by default.
Okay. Should be like latest or something else, the label.
Yeah. Latest
Latest
only is an interesting way to phrase it. I think it's fine to just say has, and so this is where I'm like, is the sidebar the best place to do that again? Like not the left hand, you know, the label filtering one. Is it better to just do it here? Like even though
yeah, we can opt to add more stuff than just the labels there if you want to.
If you want, we can split them up, but I think so there's at least two things we've already found, you know what I mean, that need to be there, hidden and not, and has redirect. My only slight worry. I just don't know. I mean,
I kind of worry that if you call it a redirect, then people might not understand what it means.
Yeah.
Because like redirect makes sense, yeah, from a like coder perspective, but it's a bit of an implementation detail, I think.
Oh, also, yeah. Then what is the meaning?
Something like a notice or
up to date images or something.
Warning attached.
Update notice or something, because there's going to be a message level as well. Okay, anyway, so I think whatever, we just need those two things because we need them to not be shown by default, those two. Okay. Hidden and redirect. Okay, now we've picked one. So go back and which one do we pick? We picked that one. Okay, cool. Then hit. Yeah. Actually, go back and pick the previous one as well, so we can actually pick the one that needs the redirect. And then hit next, yeah. Okay, so now this page here, so filter on the sidebar. So again, this one's the same thing where the ID is being used for the card description for some reason. Okay, so the information that we need to give here is, right now those labels are based off what the admin defines, I think, or are they not? That memory one, I think, must be being pulled from the actual request.
Yeah, there should be only labels there. So CPU, memory, and GPU are the label keys available across all the pod configs.
Oh, is that actually, if you go back, let me just look at, go back to the sample and just confirm that. Let's go
What?
down to image, pod configs. There we go. Yeah, so there's labels there. Okay, cool. Yeah. Cool. And the reason we're doing it as labels because the admin should be explaining what the result should be rather than us trying to interpolate the actual request. Because again, the goal is that the admin can define, oh, this is an H200 server, you get 8 GPUs, whatever, you know, these kind of things. Okay,
So
so
you're using the ID there on the card body as well. So
yeah, we want to fix that and make that the description. Yeah.
Okay.
And for now, that's not assumed to be markdown, but in the future, maybe. Okay, so, yep, next. So if we pick whatever the smallest one is that you can actually fit, can you fit that one on your local machine? I doubt it. Go to the tiny one.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, sure.
Um,
So yeah, this one's bugged out. So this step is the one that we were discussing a lot in the other thing. You do need to give it a name. So there's two things that I want to highlight here. What we're going to be doing with name is that this is going to be a user field, meaning it's going to allow spaces and weird characters in here. And then we're going to give you, not right now though, it won't right now, but if you, what will happen is you'll have a grayed out field below, which shows you what the slugified version of your name is going to be. And that's what we'll actually use as the name. So, and then we'll store the user's name as a annotation so that we can store crazy things in there. And so volumes, this is wrong as well, obviously. There's going to be 3 sections here. One is going to be called home volume, one is called data volumes, and one is called secrets. And so the proposal I made, and Polo can correct me, is that so if you mount a volume right now, even though I don't think it's going to work, like if you click. That is very unlikely to work right now, yes. Then I don't think that's going to work at all, so let's just avoid that for now. It'd be storage class.
Yeah, okay. So we just skip everything, or do we want to, because I think if
PVC, does it actually exist right now? So this is not a good demo. We're going to fix this soon. Okay, so Paulo, what's our status on getting at least the home directory one moved out, just to make it so that this doesn't completely not work?
Yeah, the problem especially is I think if I click create now, there's some really obscure error. So the first time I went through this, I did like this, and I was like, what the freak happened here? And then it took me a bit of time, and I think we should make sure
so that's because home directory
happen.
is not. It's because the reason this happened is just because the front end team didn't have the right spec for the backend API here. What's actually happening is that this is not that there should be another section called home volume, and that should be a drop-down box of PVCs in the namespace to some extent. So that word home directory actually is a PVC name. So if you give so do you have a PVC created in the namespace?
I don't think so.
Well, you've got one there.
Apparently, yeah. So I guess just home would be the name.
We'll just know the name. Copy and paste that name. Yeah, waiting for consumer to be created. Yeah.
I think I created that from the sample one. So
yeah, that should work. It should work. Here you go. Okay. We're at 9 a.m. Pacific, so I don't want to keep going too long, but we can. So that date is interesting. What's happening with that date?
I guess it's UTC start, or like the Unix time.
It must be.
Yeah, no, it is. We return 0 here. This is the calling work that Harshad has spec'd out. It was like last activity is hard-coded 0 returned by the API.
If it's 0, it probably should be assumed to be unset, right? I guess fine, whatever, who cares? Okay, so connect won't work in this example. So now that's another thing, right? So if you because we won't be able to actually connect to it, can you just verify that the virtual service exists? So go down to there, yep, and then type virtual service. I think you need to be lowercase. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I turn right now until we turn off Istio. So that code path isn't activated. It won't create it because I knew it wouldn't work, which was just a timing thing. We just need. In fact, I thought someone was going to look. I'll check to see a community member I thought was looking into this, but I haven't heard back from them. But it should be there.
That's going to work right now. If you
yeah.
Fix this is by going to K9S and
Wasn't 80 or something?
Do we port? Doubt we do, right? That wouldn't make any sense. You'd have to port forward it manually.
I think this worked at some point, but maybe not. Yeah.
Anyway, so go back to Canon S for a second.
Sorry. Yes.
Okay. So
yeah, it's not working.
And so
that one is
what's
crashing.
wrong with it? Go back and hit D on it.
What?
Interesting.
Okay, whatever happened there.
This is are you on a MacBook?
Nope.
I suspect this is just an error. Now let's.
I've seen this. If you Google this, I've totally seen this error before. I forget the root cause, but this whole S6 thing is like I know it's documented. We should figure out. Can you just paste this into Kubeflow notebook Slack channel 2,
I think
Christian?
this is an old image thing. I don't think this is. I think this is just because of an old image. So we use the 1.8 image here. So like go to the.
Oh, yep. Sorry, you're absolutely correct, Matthew.
Yeah. So click edit while we're here. No, don't go here yet. Go back to edit just for now, because even though it's not going to work. I just need to highlight that it's not working right now. So right now, what happens when you go through this? So click. Okay. First off, this is wrong. You can't edit the workspace kind. It's not allowed. So whoever's in charge of this page, remove this step.
So we were just like, this was a discussion point, right? On do we want to change fundamentally make the wizard more configurable to not have that?
We have to remove that. You have to, because it's literally not the webhook will not allow you to update the workspace.
Well, I mean, it's great. The page clearly says this cannot be edited and it's grayed out, right? So, but yeah.
I see. Okay. Well, first off, an info is that. Okay. I think we need to consider from a UI styling perspective how we do like containing. You know what I mean? Like for me, I just literally ignored that text. You know what I mean? Like it's not even yellow. You know what I mean? Like the actual icon. Like it's not a warning in my mind.
Yeah, we can change the warning.
So. Yeah. And also just in general, like there are some things which should have like backgrounds, you know what I mean? And I feel like things like warnings should probably usually have backgrounds.
Yeah, some yellow border or
like
something.
Just a warning box, like a box, you know what I mean? It just seems like that needs to be a box. Okay, anyway, click next, yep. Also, filter doesn't need to be shown if you can't change it. Okay, whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, I'm honestly not sure that we should show workspace kind here either, but that's a whole separate discussion on the first page. Okay, so now go back. So what happens if you actually click around on this page? There's no, okay, one thing, there's no indication of the currently selected one.
Yeah, maybe some small indicator on this box. Yeah.
Which one was selected? Also, wait. Refresh your page. Yeah, I had a feeling. No? Okay. Okay, so you end up back here. Which workspace is this editing right now? Well, I guess
what do you mean?
So yeah. So highlight which one is the current one. That's fine. Yeah, and hit update the next one. It's not actually going to update right now. I don't think. What does it? Does anyone confirm that the backend is connected to do that? Come back anyway. Okay, so pod config. It's whatever, and hit next. Now that does show the name. Okay, good. That does show. This is going to be fixed anyway. These are weird. The secret one actually will work, by the way. And so I don't think update successfully is true, because you see if you refresh your page, it's not.
Yeah, it's still the 1.8 image.
Yeah, so if you just quickly go to your, go back to the overview, don't create a new one.
Update workspace is just a stubbed endpoint, right?
So wave over error, wave over the error. What's happening with the error? It doesn't tell you the state, the message. So go back now, go to the workspace. Well, actually, where is the state? So go to the Canon S and go to the workspace itself now. Not the pod, but just the workspace. And now hit, go. And then, well, actually just hit state message, right? So why is this not in the front end? That's my question. So the back end, the front end, the back end should be giving you that. Let me just confirm that it is.
Sorry, what field measure? Lost for a
So
second.
right now, there's if you hit Y on it, well, it doesn't matter. Don't hit D, hit Y. Go back and hit Y. So like this is not relevant to the front end because the front end can't actually query the CRD, but
What do you
the
want?
back
The
end.
YAML? What?
Yeah. Just roll down to the bottom. See, like, so state message on the bottom is the one that I'm highlighting. And also redirect. So two things are not shown here that need to be shown here and are critical for the demo, which is that this redirect. So let me just check the.
Yeah, we plan to add like a state tab on the workspace details. We
Yes.
talked about it last meeting. So
Is that something we're going to be able to do in the next 2 weeks or week?
we will try. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of
That
changes to
one.
do. We will
Yeah, I
check.
mean, well, let's prioritize the changes, but I think that one is pretty important from other than the one that's in the create flow. That one, this one's this one's probably priority 2 because it's a demo that we really want to highlight. I'm just checking that the backend actually gives you this right now. So get workspace, workspace update. Okay, so
In the meantime, I will just create a working pod or a working workspace.
Okay, actually, I think get workspace may not give you. Oh no, sorry, it's get list workspace. Take that back. List workspace does give you the state message. Okay, so the backend is sending you the error state. So let's make sure that gets into that one should be easy to add somewhere. I don't know where you're gonna add it. Don't worry about that one. We'll do that in a second. Well, you do that as well. Why not? But then now let's go to the workspace edit, like not in here, but in the actual CRD, in the YAML, in the Canon S, and then go back workspace here. Yep, and then hit E on the error one, and then roll down, and then go to the image config and change that to 190. It's like kind of like apply the redirect manually. You know what I mean? Do you know how to use VI, right? Yeah, just making sure.
So which one is the one that you?
No, it's under spec. So the
just
status
just
is
the
done by the
image
control.
config, or
yeah, and just go to the very end of that line and edit it to 9. There we go, and just write WQ. There you go. Okay, and now that should be fixed. So if we now roll, yeah, there we go.
The pod is still being used from like the old image, 1.8 in here.
Interesting. So go back to the workspace and look at the state.
Updates are a stubbed endpoint that if you're
No,
if
we
you're
just did
trying
an update with the YAML. This should have worked.
Gotcha.
Go down to the bottom, hit Y on this. Roll down. Desired is that, so yeah, it's correct. Interesting. Go to the logs of the controller, go escape, and then go pods. Workspace.
Or the controller?
Yeah, the workspace controller. Yeah.
Uh,
Down the bottom. It's like second from the bottom.
That one? No, that's the tilted one.
No.
This one, yeah. Sorry. That's the demo effect, sorry.
Yep. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, hit escape on that and then go. So the demo one you made did work, it looks like. But then why did this one not? So if you refresh, that's not going to work. But if you refresh your edit page again.
So sorry, Matthew, just because I know this recording is going to die in like 20 minutes or whatever, do we want to call out kind of next steps or kind of start to wrap this up?
We need to figure out what's going on there. Okay, so I have a suspicion that what happened, Andy, is that the only explanation here is that the PR that I didn't review that changed the controller broke this behavior. It's the only explanation that I could have here. Okay, sure. Let's okay, because I imagine the apply redirects piece. I could imagine if you remove that functionality incorrectly, you could kick yourself out of the control loop and fail to reconcile further down the stack. That's my guess is what's happening here.
You can, there was an if defer updates block. We removed the attribute defer updates, and literally that block because it's never going to be true was removed. So I mean, you can look at that. I tested this, but we can revisit.
Yeah, we
but
should
I
check
mean,
why this isn't, because the controller should be reconciling this and it's not right. So if you go back to the, actually, I take that back. There's one thing that could be happening. Go back to the stateful set. So now go here and go state STS, just STS. And then hit D on that one, I guess. And then roll down. Okay, and then roll up to like the image config. So it is trying to create it here. See, so the stateful set has been updated. Oh wait, no, this is the demo one. Go back. We're on the wrong one. Sorry. That one.
No,
Wait, what?
I think this was the right one. So this
So, yeah,
one
go.
like is the older one.
Hit D on that
But
then.
now it is doing something. It just took a bit, I guess, because now it's up. It
I
seems.
think your computer might be the problem here. Okay, cool. Okay, I think your computer must be overloaded in some way. Okay, that
I
is
don't quite think it is. That's quite a beefy machine that this is running on.
interesting.
So we
That's
can.
not.
It's not overloaded. But yeah, it took quite a bit of time. So maybe something crashed in the meantime, and then it.
I think the controller might have picked itself up on like a secondary loop. Who knows? That's weird. I think something must have accidentally deferred itself. Okay, cool. Worrying. Okay, we need to redo that. So
Yeah,
now on this
I
page,
guess the plan was anyways to do a few more rounds of that.
yeah. So go to the connect, and just what buttons you see there? So you see that one. Okay, and what happens if you just click the connect itself? Is it something you can click? It's always a drop down. Okay, sure, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then when you click connect, where do you get taken to?
Empty page.
That's fine. With the path, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. The
Okay, interesting.
the Zoom
Okay,
stuff
now
is in my
go
way.
back
But
off that. That's fine. There's no. I understand. Yeah, just go back. Yeah. Now on the three dots. Okay, so yeah, three dots, and then hit stop. Let's see what happens. And then hit stop. I think this API is implemented, right? Yeah, it is. Great. Okay, now click expand on the row, which we're going to remove this functionality. So this is on the row itself. Yeah. So now I'm a bit confused, Polo, how we get that overview on the right-hand side to show up.
The view details option on the menu.
Oh, interesting. Oh, that's messy as well.
Yeah, something trips.
Okay, because what is happening here actually? What?
Yeah, the layout there just gets totally wonked.
Yeah, I think it's because of the width of the screen. It got
Yeah,
there, but I'll check.
Why is it not a table anymore in this sidebar when you have the sidebar open?
I think we can adapt the component to smaller screens to fit the information without having a horizontal scroll. But if so it adapts the table to become,
interesting.
Different. But
okay, so interesting. So okay, so cool. So I guess go back to the workspace overview page. So if we go back to that one, so now we have so obviously we haven't managed to get update in this flow yet. Wave over that blue icon that's on the Jupyter thing. What?
That's the one that's
supposed to be from the redirect. That's the text in our sample for the redirect.
But that one also doesn't have a redirect.
There's this one. But yeah, only one of them should actually show this.
Neither of them should in this case anymore, actually.
Yeah, so that right, because it should be if it's on the source, 1.8 should have that option, but this is the target. This should not.
Oh.
I don't even know. Yeah, so that's probably just a hard coded. I'm guessing that's just something somehow not connected back to the API at the moment.
I think
maybe one other observation.
Yeah, it's a hard coded. Yeah, let's fix that.
This list here is not. Unfortunately, it takes a bit of time to load now due to the network to this machine. But this list is not sorted in a stable way, so the entries jump back and forth in the workspaces overview. Oh, come
Interesting.
on. What happened here?
remove that path, subpaths, just in case. Oh no, you got it. Okay.
Okay.
It's because you were opening the create workspace one, I think. That's why.
So yeah, the one time demo test is the first one. The other one, the test demo, is the first one. I don't know how reproducible that happens, but
It'd be interesting, Matthew, if we want that fixed on the back end, which right now it just whatever Kubernetes returns, that's what, you know what I mean? Should we fix this, make sure it's sorted back end or front end?
Interesting. Interesting. We have the whole list, so we can sort it whenever, right? It's not
right.
Yeah.
We should just decide who. I mean, probably from the back end, but yeah.
Yeah, especially for pagination. Otherwise, it glitches out your ability to do pages to some extent. Oh, you're only making one API call, so it doesn't matter, I guess. Okay. Okay. So Paulo, there's a hard coded thing there. Okay. Also, presumably for the demo, so expand that demo test one just again on the sidebar. So obviously, I think our plan currently is to remove this. Is this correct, Paulo? Oh, another thing. Is the sidebar that pops up, I think there was some debate initially about whether it was over the top of the table or whether it was jutting into the table like it's doing here. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, in the past I remember with a bit of that. Yeah.
What did we? What is there? Because it seems like fixing the styling is going to be very difficult if we don't just make it an overview over the top. You know what I mean?
Let me check that with Jenny. She probably dealt with this issue in the past.
Yeah. So especially if we remove the expandable rows situation. Okay, so now the table rows. The last thing I wanted to quickly go through is, okay, so what rows do we actually need here? So name obviously is going to be replaced with display name, and then I want an hover one for the actual name of the CRD. You know what I mean? Or something else for the name of the CRD. We could, okay, this is a question. The CRD name versus the username provided one. It has to be the user one, right? There's no other office.
I think should be the user and the other on the details panel.
Okay, cool. Yep, I agree. It should be on the details. It doesn't even need to be on hover. I agree. Yep, because it could be effectively random from the user perspective. Cool. Okay, so that means we need a backend fix for that as well. So the backend right now sends you when you list workspaces. So the API you're calling to get this list is list workspace. And so right now we send you a thing called name. We should probably rename that to say ID or something. You know what I mean? Or maybe not. Name's probably fine. Display. How are we going to do that? Sorry, Andy, did we agree like on display name versus like for the API, not for the CRD itself, but like for it's going to be annotation, but.
Did we decide what? I'm sorry?
For how the backend is going to send the information about the display name of the workspace to the.
I think we've said it's going to be just like attribute, like display name and description are the names in the
Well, we're not going to have
payload.
description for workspace, but yeah, display name, I guess.
Yes. Sorry. So display name and description will be the attribute names in the API that will be consistently used if they are included. You know what I mean? So not every resource
top level of the API,
yes.
probably. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, so that's definitely a thing we should write down, Paulo. And now, so other icons on this list. So the image one is a very interesting column. Like I go back and forth on whether that's what it means for the image one to be visible on the root table, right?
I mean, I think it's a useful, if you think about like the RStudio VS Code kind of thing, I think it's nice to know what, like, maybe it doesn't need that much real estate, but in my mind, in a like polyglot kind of setup, it might be nice to kind of know which workspace is which.
So
a lot of it's dictated on like how people are structuring their workspace kinds, if that like helps or not. Like if you only have one workspace kind and shove everything into it, then it's, pointless.
Does the okay, on this table as well, I'm just seeing there's the filtering is only by name. What has the drop down right now? What's the? I feel like kind. Is this a multiple? You build up a filter. Is that what's happening here? Okay.
Yeah, it's
Interesting.
cumulative.
Okay, it's a little bit weird that it moves the table, but what happens if you type a name filter in? Does it also do that weirdness? Also, kind should be a drop down here. I don't understand why kind isn't a drop down here. Interesting. It's a bit weird that it juts the table down, but the kind also is definitely an enum. Or I guess maybe it's not. Interesting. Because you could regex it to some extent. It's a bit weird though. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so other columns. So why is pod config not on the root as well?
Yeah, we talked about that in last meeting. We agreed to include it, but we were discussing about kind, image, and pod config. So if we should like have the kind there or just the image and pod config, but I don't know if we reach a conclusion.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting. Okay. The thing we have to deal with is that image and pod config. If we're just using the display name, the display name of a pod config is allowed to be 64 characters, I think. Right? Is that what we allowed? Let me just confirm. So that's going to make the table really big, right? That's not going to fit in it. If the admin has actually used all 64 characters, that column's going to be too long, right? Is that correct, we think?
Yeah, we can truncate.
Or like highlight to see the remainder kind of thing. Because like, so the cases that I would imagine a lot of admins are going to do for their pod configs is be like, okay, this is EC2 instance this. It costs this much money, kind of, or like it has 4 GPUs, 4 CPUs, whatever, like this kind of equivalent concept. Maybe description would have the cost, but the okay, so whatever. Let's assume we have that column just slammed in there with the display name. So what is our kind of process on we also need to fix the image one, but that can be, we're pretty much done with that, Andy, is that right? Or no, we're not. That was actually more complex than we realized.
You've given me feedback. I need to update the PR, but
I
at
could
least
probably do the controller one if that would save you time. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, yeah, well, we can talk about it, but yeah, it's there. Like, we know what we need to do now because we did get a good deep review on it. It's just doing it at this point, but we're close.
yeah, okay, because this is for the icons.
Yeah, so just want to know, I do have a hard drop right now, so I took notes
same.
of everything we discussed so far for the front end, but we do have a lot of tests for next week. So if you want to, can finish review the front end next week.
So we should prioritize those tasks. Let's prioritize those tasks given how constrained we are in terms of time. Sorry, if you have a drop in like 4 minutes, is that what you mean?
I have to drop right now.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so let's prioritize that list in a separate thread. But I think the obvious first step is to fix the volumes one. Literally, like that one's critical, right? And so anything related to the create workspace flow is the top priority. So making sure that redirects and hidden features are available. But before that, even fixing the volumes mounting section. That is
I need to get a stub out as we discussed on Tuesday, so I'll get that out.
So that's top priority for us, I guess. Well, other than the manifest stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Anyone else got any comments? Thank you for all coming and bearing with us while we're doing this. We're developing software in real time. It's life.
But yeah, I think it was just for the benefit of the recording, right? Yeah, thank you everybody that joined. But I think, it was a really good demonstration from Matthew. Like, we should all be kind of like doing this as we're developing in Tilt, kind of using the tool in anger, kind of like questioning why you would want something or what isn't there, which can be a hard thing to do, right? What am I not seeing on the screen that I should be seeing? But I think it's like a really good thought exercise for all of us as we're contributing and thinking about this. Please feel empowered to start threads in the notebooks channel, as you're working on this stuff. And let's raise this to kind of, put ourselves as the mind of the data scientist. I think it's really important, even if, I'm not a data scientist, but I think a lot of this kind of questioning and using the tool and why is here, we can all kind of bring that and make things a lot stronger. So, I think that was a really good example. Thank you, Matthew, for driving, but we all need to take that upon ourselves to do that similar exercise as well.
Preferably with the Tilt version where possible. Like if you're just doing mocks, it can be so easy to just forget something. You know what I mean? Like we even noticed that we had a hard-coded thing not even using the API, for example. You know what I mean? Like this kind of, because the user is not going to be using the mock, they're using the API, right? That's what I'm saying, right? So and in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, they're going to be touching that, whatever that is. So let's try and reflect. Make sure that we sell why it's worth investing your time and effort in both making it contributing and also using. Anyway, thanks everyone so much. I'm gonna stop the recording. We'll stay around until the meeting drops, but thanks everyone.